I mean, it was like, yeah, there wasn't a lot of room to move around and stuff, but it did make it like intimate, like, people were
Yeah.
talking. I saw people talking to each other that either hadn't seen someone in a long time, hadn't fished with someone in a long time. I saw people talking that had never met before, but had talked on the internet or they've seen their
Yeah.
posts and
Yeah.
whatnot. And I saw people talking that I saw like old school NJ fishing guys talking to new school mayhem guys that had no interaction with each other ever, even on the internet or anywhere. They were kicking up conversations too. I mean, it was awesome.
Also,
I,
River Gnome was able to get a picture with every female in the room.
Well, whatever, whatever floats his boat.
Hey,
Hello and welcome to episode number 38 of the New Jersey Multi-Species Podcast. I am your host, Joe Santiago, and as usual, my partner, Chris Pereira.
Well, Joe, you don't sound too good.
I don't feel good either. You could, what are we doing?
Oh, God. All right. So, Joe's feeling a little bit under the weather, I guess, still, but, we are going to start the episode with a recap of the NJ Fishing Multi-Species Mayhem Christmas Party that we had. By the time this airs, Christmas has happened. Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. The Christmas party was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Joe was there, but much like he's acting now, he was a little out of it.
Yeah, a little under the weather.
I think if I could quote Gerry, where's Joe? He's late. He forgot the buckets. And then when he finally showed up, I think he said, Joe finally got here. He's late, and he looks like he fell out of a clown's ass.
Yeah, that is what he said, isn't it?
Those are his exact words, and I almost hit the floor laughing because it was deadly accurate.
All right, whatever.
Well, anyway, we're gonna bring Gerry on here in a second, and we're kind of just gonna recap the party real quick.
Christmas party was a major success. It actually was like more crowded than anyone thought it was going to be, but I think there was still enough room for everyone. The prizes were just ridiculous. Like, we ran out of time because we didn't have enough time to give the prizes out. But then we just like stayed past the time anyway and kept giving out shit. And then like Gerry's wife like just snapped and started just launching t-shirts into the crowd. And then me and Chris started throwing t-shirts. It got crazy. But yeah, it was awesome. It was great. Met a lot of really cool people that like Joey X. I've talked to him online for years, and I never have met in person. Finally met him in person. That was cool. I'm trying to think of anyone else.
I haven't fished with Joey in a long time. Me, him, and Scotty went on Mikey K's saltwater boat years ago, and we went shark fishing, caught a thresher shark. It was actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, I saw that picture. That picture was in the Christmas party collage that took me 2 hours to make, that Gerry didn't even attempt to put on a TV screen at the party anyway. He just threw it in the garbage. Chris is totally ignoring everything I'm saying.
Sorry, I accidentally tried. I tried to pull Gerry's brother Joe into the Skype, which he wasn't ready till later which is when I told him I meant to try to bring Gerry into the call.
All right.
So give me a second here.
Oh, that's right. Gerry's coming on this episode, so I'm actually going to ask him why he just disregarded my 2 hours of slideshow work and threw it into a trash bin somewhere.
Oh yeah, you got to hold on to that for a second. Yeah, give me 1 second here because we're bringing Gerry in.
I'm trying to think, Joey X. I'm trying to think anyone else there that like I've pretty much talked to for a long time that I never actually met in person. Oh, there he is. I see him. Gerry, we were just talking about how we sent you all these pictures for the Christmas party slideshow that just vanished and seemed to never go anywhere.
Yeah, along with your buckets, Joe.
Gerry, I already ripped him about that.
Oh my gosh.
I quoted how Joe looked like he fell out of a clown's ass, man. I mean, that was dead on accurate.
Oh, but, yeah, he shows up late, complains about not having the slideshow ready, blah, 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 blah. And then he wants me to go fishing. Come on.
Well, besides the rough start, and the other thing was when I walked. So this was the same place, Woodbridge Brewing Company. It was the same building that you've used for a long time. All the NJ fishing parties that I've ever been to have been there, but these were new owners, and we were in a different room. And I just remember when I walked in, I was just like, Gerry, how the hell are 70 people going to fit in this room?
Yeah, well, yeah. And, I had my doubts too, but, I think at the end of the day, I don't know if you looked at the new dining room they have down there, but it's all booths and they got that big, those big vessels separating everyone. So, yeah, it was crowded, but I don't know.
I mean, it was like, there wasn't a lot of room to move around and stuff, but it did make it like intimate, like, people were talking. I saw people talking to each other that either hadn't seen someone in a long time, hadn't fished with someone in a long time. I saw people talking that had never met before, but had talked on the internet or they've seen their posts and whatnot. And I saw people talking that I saw like old school NJ fishing guys talking to new school Mayhem guys that had no interaction with each other ever, even on the internet or anywhere. They're kicking up conversations too. I mean, it was awesome.
Also, River Gnome was able to get a picture with every female in the room.
Well, whatever floats his boat.
Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, it's all good. I mean, you think about, the money we raised for Heroes on the Water. And listen, I know you guys work tirelessly, getting, all the prizes and stuff. And, and even though it was a train wreck, it kind of worked, I guess. I don't know.
I wouldn't call it. No, I wouldn't call it a train wreck. It was like.
Do you think it was a train wreck?
No, I would call it a runaway train that went up on 2 wheels multiple times, but stayed on the tracks.
What about Gerry's wife just launching the shirts everywhere? That like she was. Your wife has an arm on her. She was launching shirts.
Holy crap! I was like, "What did you just do?" And she's like, "I don't know. The shirts were there. Joe was throwing out shirts. Chris was throwing out."
Oh, did Joe start this? Because
Joe Santiago did, because he got panicked because we were running out of time.
That I believe that makes sense. All I know is the box was there. Joe goes, "We're out of time. Just start throwing these shirts. We don't have time to give them away." It turns out that box wasn't just full of shirts to give out. That box had shirts that were supposed to be for specific people that we made them for.
Yeah, well, and your guys' shirts turned out to be in Root's throwing pile too. So, guys, sorry, guys.
I did get a Mikey K shirt though. I left with a Mikey K shirt, which I'm wearing.
I got this for you.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. All right, so I'll get one.
That's better than nothing, right?
I got a Mike K shirt too.
Did you? All right,
Wow.
so you got something.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, I heard you. I saw you complaining you didn't get anything.
No, I didn't win anything. I won nothing. Mike K just gave me a shirt, and then of course the shirt we owe him in return was in the box. We threw into the crowd also.
No, I
So-
double checked with him. He did get a T-shirt from Max.
Well,
Oh, he
and
did, okay.
you and Joe, Chris, are going to be rating Katie's treasure trove of stuff. Man, she and Leah, my buddy Mike's wife, they were like, oh my gosh. It's
Yeah, wait
like
a second. You know what I just realized? 3 women won like 75% of the prizes because
They won it.
the other woman, Dana, I think her name is.
Oh, Dana, yeah, gosh.
She cleaned up too.
She did too. Yeah, good for them.
The 3
Leah won the land-based sharking trip, right?
No, well, yeah, Leah
Leah.
did. Leah did.
And she won a Lake Apacon guided trip too.
Yes, she did. Yes,
And she
did.
won something else too, right?
she
the
won
nor'easter stuff.
Yeah.
I won nothing.
and a pack of lures, and she won like a bag of lures. I can't remember if it was the lures from Dow's or the lures from Mackin's Rippin' Lips, but she won a bag of lures too.
No,
Yeah,
Mackin's Rippin' Lips was Katie won
All right,
that.
then Leah won the bag of lures from Dow's. I was taking the pictures of all the prizes.
Yeah.
There were so many prizes. I took a pictures, I think, of everyone holding their prize. I mean, there's no way I could put them all up here, but we'll get them all up on different posts on Mayhem, NJ Fishing, wherever.
Yeah, man. What a great time, right?
Gerry, it was awesome, and honestly, it brought back a lot of memories. Like, we haven't been able to do this in 4 years.
Yeah.
And no, it was awesome. People wanted it to come back. People who just found out about it wanted to come check it out, and they did. I know a lot of people regret not being able to make it, or even a couple of people claimed they didn't know it was happening. I don't know what rock they were living under, but
I did post it. I posted it everywhere.
Well, listen, if you didn't have a good time at that party, it wasn't our fault, right? I mean,
for sure.
it's crazy
No,
how much stuff we gave out.
Do we have the numbers on the donation, or are you saving that for a post you're going to make?
No, I already made the post, and it was $1,060. And I emailed the guy from Heroes on the Water on Sunday, and they are just so thrilled and happy. And, listen, it's all good, right? I mean, and listen, I know Joe, Chris, you guys, poured it all into it, and so did your wives and girlfriends, and I know Ruth did, and although it was like a blur for us, it was all worth it.
Gerry, I don't know. I said this to you too. I don't know how you and Ruth used to do this, just the two of you, honestly, because this was crazy. And then, Joe shows up with 8 buckets when we needed like 2, and
he asked for 4.
Well, Chris, and truth be told, so it's about, I don't know, what time was the party? It was 7:00. I texted him at like 6:45-ish, thinking he'd be on his way down. I said, turn around now and go back to your house and pick up all the stuff that you forgot. And he goes, oh shit, I forgot the buckets. And I said,
wait, you just sent that text not knowing anything, just almost to kind of bust his chops.
Exactly, because he's told me how forgetful he is. And so,
oh my God.
Just on a whim, I sent that text message, and you said, oh shit, do you really need the buckets? And I'm like, yeah, we need buckets. And if you don't show up with the buckets, my wife, you're going to feel the wrath of my wife, Ruby. You don't want to be on the other side of that.
So I Googled it, and it was like less time to just go to Woodbridge Harbor Freight and buy them than to go home. It was faster.
Fresh buckets, fresh new buckets.
Fresh brand new ones.
I want one of those buckets for keepsake, Joseph.
Oh, well, you could have it.
All right then.
You should have left it there. Yeah, no, Joe texted me and said, I forgot the buckets. Do you have any buckets? I said, no, I don't have the best I had was I had some Beamer hats that we could turn upside down and put stuff in. That was about it.
Well, yeah, truth be told, I had some buckets at home, but I wanted Joe to sweat it. So he came through. In the end, he came through.
No, hey, all's well that ends well, right? I mean, It was an awesome time. We'll be posting pictures and stuff all week on all our stuff from the party. It was awesome that the guys from Heroes on the Water could actually be there, and one of the veterans actually did a little speech, which was awesome.
Yeah,
and I'm glad everyone chipped in, got the raffle tickets, and we're able to donate, over $1,000 to this cause. It's awesome.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, every year this party just like surprises me and exceeds my expectations. I mean, the generosity of all the people who gave the door prizes and the people buying the tickets. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It just amazes me every year.
You think you'll do it again next year?
Well, Ruth is still recuperating, so I think she might be in retirement. But I think we can get Katie and Joe, your wife, and I don't know. We'll have to recruit some other women because us men are not very well organized.
At what point did you pick up on that? Was it when the shirts started, or was it when the raffle numbers started getting mixed up and we didn't know which prize we were raffling off at any given time? Or
hey, it's every year. I mean, it's like Groundhog Day.
Do you want to comment on Chris just handing the rod off to some random person in the crowd?
What are you talking about?
Me and Gerry are pretty sure you just grabbed it and gave it to someone.
No, you guys called out a number while you were holding one of the rods, and everyone in the room thought that's what that number was for. You didn't.
Yeah, and then you can't take that back, Joe.
No.
What do you mean? I was holding a bag of rubber stuff.
You weren't the one calling the numbers. Gerry called the number while he was holding the rod. So when the winner came up with that ticket, I said, all right, what prize? The rod. Everyone in that corner that heard me ask what was the prize thought it was the rod too. That's why no one said anything.
Yeah, but
it was in your hand.
Not my hand. I didn't touch nothing.
Oh, look, I was just taking pictures of the prize winners. Hey, I told you look, while we were singing the 12 Days of Fishmas, we were basically wasting a lot of time that we should have been giving out prizes. And then next thing we know, there's only 10 minutes left. And Gerry's wife, Ruth, is going like this on her watch. You guys are running out of time. I feel like I was on a game show.
The 12 Days of Fishmas was a whopping success. You got to like that. Come on.
That was funny.
That was pretty funny.
And the ugly Christmas sweater contest. Come on.
Could have had video, but Chris banned all video from the room.
There's video.
Is there?
Yeah. All right, then.
Are you kidding me? People were recording all kinds of stuff.
Oh, I thought you banned it.
No. I mean, you wanted to film people. I don't know. Some people don't like to be filmed, especially when they've been drinking.
Especially with the eggplant and someone dancing with it down in the after hour party.
Whoa, we don't talk about the after party.
Not naming any names.
We don't talk about the after party.
Or the eggplant.
Well,
Gerry, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for asking us to be a part of this.
Yeah, man.
And hopefully we get to go fishing together soon.
Gerry, before you leave, the whole rest of the episode we're devoting to kind of people jumping on and giving their best catches, best fishing stories. You kind of gave us the idea to kind of close out the year. What's your favorite catch of the year? Just real quick before we let you go. What jumped out at you for you?
I have to say it was.
Can I guess? Can I guess first? Can I guess
ahead.
what it is? Frank Mihalik's blackfish.
Well, no, I'm asking Gerry what's his favorite personal catch that he caught.
Well, I didn't have to be. I didn't happen to be with Frank Mahalik when he caught that blackfish, so that's not my. Although I like Frank, it's not my favorite fishing thing. I guess it had to be with my grandson. Man, we just had such a great time fishing in the spring and the fall, and he's really into it now. And that.
What'd you guys fish for?
How old is he?
Well, he's 7, and we fished at the South Branch in the spring and the fall, and he caught a couple of trout in the spring, and he caught a largemouth at the South Branch all by himself, and so
that's it right there. Nice.
I guess I'd have to say that was mine.
That's
awesome.
That's a good start. Everyone else coming on is going to have to follow that.
There you go.
Gerry, thanks for coming on and recapping the Christmas party. It was awesome again. I hope, I'm glad we could help you bring it back, and I'm glad you decided to bring it back.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Gerry.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
All right, man.
Later.
Yeah, when you said favorite catch of the year, I thought you were kind of talking about like.
Wait, so you think people are coming onto the show to talk about other people's catches? Like, what's their favorite catch that anyone has?
When you told me to do this episode, you told me, well, who caught the best fish of the year? Pick them out, and I'm saying, well, okay. So
well, I said, for all the awesome fish that have been caught, like.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Well,
no, it's a miscommunication.
All right, just
doing
to be
2 separate
clear,
episodes at the same time here. Now I'm on yours now.
Just to be clear, the guests are coming on and telling us their stories of how they caught their favorite fish of 2023.
Okay,
and
understand.
Share. I mean, they can share as much or as little as they want. We don't like to mention names of lakes when they're smaller places, but I'll leave it up to the guest. I'm not bleeping out any names of. I'm not bleeping out any names of lakes. So if they say it, it's staying on there.
Okay, I understand the concept now. But even Gerry just now, like his favorite fish was a fish his grandson caught.
But he was there helping or what? He taught the grandson how to fish, and then the grandson caught the fish. I mean, that's a great story.
I was there for this next one. I was there.
You were there for this next one coming up?
Yes.
All right. Well, next we got Matt Califano, and he caught an awesome walleye, and he's here to tell us about it. What's up, Matt?
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's going on, Matt?
Oh, just living the dream. Yeah, it was funny because it's definitely not a secret. It's not going to burn a spot, but obviously, like a pack on guide service has been on Greenwood Lake this fall. What with the drawdown for a pack hung.
You're right.
So Aaron and I got there a little early one day, and I mean, as you guys know, I'm a fly fisherman. I maybe have spin casted 10 times this year, and I've been on the water. I mean, I track my days for like pro staff applications. I've been on the water over 150 days, so like, it's not often that I have a spinning rod. But we were meeting Joe, and we had a spot that was really, really doing well. And we didn't want to burn the spot by fishing it before Joe was basically in the boat with us. So that time of year, all the real quality walleye we were getting were basically coming within 5 feet of the same depth. So we basically were like, all right, well, we'll stay close to the marina because we know Joe's going to be here in like 20 minutes. And we'll just go, find a spot on the depth finder that has this depth that we haven't fished yet. So we found this little tiny finger at that depth, and I think it was like the third cast. I just get thumped. And, like I said, I don't spin fish and a walleye fish a lot, but I knew enough to know it was a good fish.
Wait, you didn't catch this walleye fly fishing?
No. It came out of, over 20 feet of water.
Doesn't count. Doesn't count.
Yeah,
Let's
I
move on to
know.
the next guest.
Well, it was funny because, I knew it was a good one. I reel it up, and it was a monster. It wound up coming in at 28 inches and 8.5 pounds, which was obviously my personal best walleye. I mean, at that point, I think it's 7-pound walleye previous was my best one that I caught like the week before.
And that's the current leader for Skillful Angler board.
Yeah, and it blew away the one previous. I think the one previous was 24.5. So I mean, it wasn't even close. Like it was. Joe's the one who told me about it.
What is?
He's like, you should. He's like, you should check out Skillful Angler, and because I'm pretty sure that would
Deuce,
that beats.
Hold on a second, Deuce. Are you getting this, Deuce? What is that egg? That's Eggplant Daddy in a Santa hat? What? So, well, hold on a second. All right, so there was a little bit of controversy with the walleye this year, with the Skillful Angler. So Eggplant Daddy also caught a big walleye this year.
Oh yeah,
and they sent. So he's got the patch sewed to his ass. I know some people just listen to this podcast and don't watch it on YouTube, but we're looking at Eggplant Daddy right now in a Santa hat with a Skillful Angler patch sewed to his ass and a certificate with his name on it with a big what? How big was Eggplant Daddy's walleye? Can you read that, Joe?
28.5.
Oh man.
Hold on a second.
But the reason the state still has Matt certified is because they will not certify Eggplant Daddy as a human, and so they're leaving Matt as the leader. Matt, that's why Eggplant Daddy's here today.
Oh man. Oh, my hat's off to Eggplant Daddy. That was that's some catch.
I mean,
don't tell me you got it on a fly rod.
No. No way.
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't believe he's nodding yes.
No.
My stars.
I think he's bullshitting us. Okay. Now, I did see Eggplant Daddy act. I mean, he was kind of teasing you. He's busting your balls online. I don't know if he called you Matt Califano.
Oh my!
I don't know if you saw that.
I did not. I'm gonna have some words. I make a good eggplant parm.
Whoa. So there's Eggplant Daddy's in on the turf war on. Why is he back? Why is Gerry?
I just hope to God we don't lose control of this episode like we lost control of the NJ Fishing Mayhem Christmas Party. Can we get Eggplant Daddy off the screen now? I've had enough of him.
Get rid of Eggplant Daddy. Matt, I know you had said in the
Eggplant
text,
Daddy's waving. Okay.
You had a couple other pretty notable crazy catches this year.
Yeah.
Like the walleye may have not even been your favorite one.
No, correct? my favorite one for the whole year was I actually pulled a 28-inch rainbow trout out of my own lake with my own friends on opening day trout. And that was crazy. It was a stalker, obviously, so it was much less skill required than catching, even a fish smaller than that that's a wild fish in a river. But I was in the boat with two of my best friends, and we were sharing a nice bottle of whiskey, and this fish just pasted an ultralight. And by the time we got it to the boat, it was a 28-inch rainbow. And I have it at the taxidermist right now because my lake gets up to 80 degrees in the summer. So there's no way that fish would survive through the summer. So that was probably my favorite catch. And then I did get an ice out this year, 10-pound, 6-ounce largemouth. So that was the closest.
10 pounds? Are you serious?
That's crazy.
That was the closest I ever got to breaking a state record in anything.
Was that in a smaller lake or a bigger lake?
Yeah, it was in my private lake. So, I mean,
Okay.
the amount of people who fish it, you can count on one hand. There's like 5 people who fish it regularly.
Did
So
you get
I
a length on it by any chance?
No, I just had my bogas with me. I didn't have tape.
Oh.
But
what would you guess the length is on a fish like that?
Sometimes they're fatter and shorter. Sometimes they're longer. And
yeah, it didn't seem like it was that long, to be honest. It was just built like a tank. It was really, really fat.
So it probably had like 8 bluegills in its stomach, each adding like a pound to it.
And it definitely was. That was a really nice catch too from this year. But
if you told me you caught that in a public New Jersey lake, I was sitting here ready to call you bullshit.
Oh yeah, no way.
I'll believe it from a private lake, but that's an awesome catch.
Just to give you perspective. It's that kind of lake. Just no one fishes it, so it's ridiculous.
Joe, would you largemouth bass fish on a lake like that?
No.
Well, Joe, you guys are welcome to ice fish it this winter.
I'll ice fish. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, are you serious?
If it actually freezes, you're welcome to ice fish it.
Because we just agreed to ice fishing on that lake, we just cursed the entire season. Thank you very much. You just ruined the ice fishing season, Matt Califano. And
I've never caught a stillwater fish on a fly rod ever.
Really?
No, I've never tried.
Oh, they're fun, man. Smallmouth especially. Smallmouth are great on a fly rod.
Yeah, I've never done it.
No, you got a lot of things to do this coming year.
Yeah, we can fix that. We can fix that this year too.
All right, we definitely have to fix that. All right, I'm going to say goodbye to you now. Chris is going to ask you probably one more question to make you stay here for another 5 minutes.
I'm not gonna hold him here against his will. I just thanks for coming on and
thank you for coming on. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah, you guys tell Eggplant Daddy I'm coming for him next year.
Awesome.
I think he knows, and
he's coming for everyone.
Eggplant Daddy. I mean, he knows how to catch a big fish. You follow him.
All right. See you guys.
No, awesome fish, awesome stories, man. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, man.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, fellas.
Take care. So that was cool. Yeah, Eggplant Daddy. I did not see that coming, but there was, a little bit of controversy. Eggplant Daddy did technically catch a bigger fish, but the NJ Fish and Wildlife, after consideration, would not include an eggplant in the Skillful Angler leaderboard. I don't know what to say. Both fish are awesome fish, and we'll just move on.
Next, we have the hybrid striped bass Skillful Angler leader, Joe Santiago.
No, that's not accurate.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, next we have. You can talk about that after.
I don't want to. I'm just disgusted.
No. Well, I'll ask you about it later.
I don't want
to. We got Chris Lido on next of the Gambler. And,
wasn't Chris Lido just here a week ago? Why is he back again?
Well, he had such a good time, and he was at the NJ Fishing Christmas Party, and him and his wife told me he had such a good time. They love watching the show. And I figured he has to have some awesome stories from 2023 because if they're not his very own.
Chris, I need to get right down to this. First of all, what are we doing about Madusky? Because he stiffed us on the party. I mean, we have to retaliate somehow.
Chris, do you know Mark Madosky as well?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy...
He only signed up to come once Lido did. We asked him for 3 months. Mark, will you please come? No, I won't come. No, I won't come. Oh, Chris Lido's going? Oh, I'll go.
Well, no, that's not totally true. So at first we asked him if he wanted to come. He said, "Nah, that sounds stupid." But then pretty quickly after that, he realized it wasn't, and he did want to come. So he said he was actually going to come. Yeah, exactly. And then out of nowhere, he's like, I can't go anymore. And we're just like, okay, whatever. It is what it is.
Did he really say he can't go anymore? I
This
think he
was the
just
first
didn't show
time.
up.
No, Joe. That was the first time.
Oh, the first one. Okay.
Then,
yeah.
now I didn't know that he only then wanted to come again because his
fangirled
buddy
Lido.
Chris
Oh,
Lido
yeah.
is coming. I didn't know that part, but that makes sense.
Total fangirl job. No, I ain't going. No, I ain't going. Oh, Chris Lido's going? Yeah, I got a babysitter. I'll go right away.
Yeah, he was like right at the end. But Mark texted
And then he
me
stiffed
today.
us. Stiffed us.
Yeah, he did. He did. I guess there was more food at the buffet for me then, because I certainly went to town on that.
Well, that was one of the few complaints that people had was there's supposed to be more pizza, and the place just stopped putting out pizza. I didn't get any pizza.
Jen Wong brought me I don't know, 8 pieces.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
If you know Jen Wong, you're hooked up. He has connections everywhere.
I know Jen Wong. I'm friends with Jen Wong. He didn't bring me no pizza.
Yeah,
just asked him.
Yeah, I think it was more for my wife, if you know what I mean. I think Jen would want to bring her a few slices and be quite the host,
Jen was crushing on your wife?
Jen was being Jen,
All right, he's a gentleman. He was being a gentleman.
He had the Terminator. Was he wearing the Terminator jacket? The leather 30-pound jacket?
Yeah, he told me his piece was in there, but I didn't. It wasn't in there.
I have a picture that I'm going to throw up right now that has Chris Lido trying to steal Jen Wong's jacket and walk out of it, but he caught him.
Right? Oh yeah.
So
throw it up there, Chris. Throw it up there.
I already did.
But yeah, it was funny. I put on Chino's. I call him Chino. It's an old name, but I put on his jacket and I was like, "Hey, check it out!" And I was doing the total Jen Wong.
He's got to do it.
He throws up his sign, So, but what a fun time! I mean, that was great. And Tara and her dad used to go back in the day and Gerry would do it, and he'd get the guys from Wicked Tuna and everything. But now I've met kind of like Max did the speech and everything. I've met so many people that I've communicated with over the past 2 decades, 3 decades, or however it is. I'm going to be 50 next week, so I've been at this a while. And just to meet some of these people in person, the Facebook requests were flying back and forth today. It was fantastic. So, yeah.
No, that's
thanks,
and
guys.
That's what it's all about too. It's people who have never talked to each other, people who have only talked on the internet, they're all getting together. I saw all kinds of interactions. It was awesome.
Yeah, totally cool. So
Chris, you had a couple of catches. As soon as I asked you, you were like, "Oh yeah, I got some cool stories." We don't have a ton of time for each person, but if you could tell two quick ones if you want to. I think you said you wanted to do two.
Yeah, what I sent you a couple pics, right?
What's the
first one you got up there?
Oh, we throw all the pictures up in afterwards, but you sent me a really nice rainbow trout.
Yeah. So that rainbow. So I've been fishing the river. That was the first place I really learned to fish in Jersey, was on the river. Nightcrawler, Zebco 202, couple of split shots. But this particular area, 2 years ago, a giant oak tree fell right, bam, smack in the middle of it. I'm talking about not a sapling. I'm talking about like a 6-foot wide, 100-year-old oak, and totally kind of destroyed the place. But I still like to fish it because the trout live in and around the branches and under the trunk and everything. And it was May, and I saw some subsurface feeding on caddis larvae. They were flashing. And I drifted a tandem nymph through there. I usually use like a bead head, and then I tie a dropper, about 14, 16 inches, to the bend of the bead head, and then fish my smaller nymph off that. I don't Euro nymph. I like to nymph without an indicator, by watching the end of my fly line. And that's how I learned. And sure enough, this big, huge trout flashes out, takes it, darts 10 feet upriver, jumps in the air. My jaw hits the ground. And I was at a stalemate. So I was using You can see it in the picture. It's a Douglas 8'4" upstream rod, which is very slow action, low modulus. That's what I like to fish, kind of retro style equipment, going back to bamboo and fiberglass.
It's making the regular size trout a lot more fun, but you're kicking yourself when you hook into something like that.
I was like flipping out, and I'm at the old stalemate, right? So the fish is in the current. The fish is in the current just doing nothing, and I can't move it. So finally it like turns course and does 180, races towards the log, and I just happened to put a little bit of side pressure and put it up onto a gravel, like into the gravel bar, and the fish didn't have any more water under it. So it was like floundering right there, and I came in, I netted it, and it was this awesome fish. It was on a size 16 olive RS2 emerger. And, I get the rep as being a saltwater guy, but that's how I grew up fishing on the river.
What size was it? What size you say?
16, Joe. Little 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you don't like fishing strike indicators?
I don't. I never have. Nope.
Really? See, I fish exactly the same as you. I don't Euro nymph, but I can't fish without the indicator.
Yeah.
You have to have it.
So I'm affiliated with a Northern Fly Shop that's been doing these guide trips and things for years, and the owner passed away. But I've been working in and out of there for about 10 years. Every new person that I get to teach them fly fishing gets the indicator, not only so that they can see the strike, but so they can index the end of their line. Because more often than not, they go to cast and they have to shoot it like around a tree branch or around a rock or something, and they can't gauge where the end of their tippet is. So they're getting caught in the trees or missing their mark. It lets them kind of index where they put their cast. But I just watch the end of the fly line. I kind of keep it real short, upstream, real short, kind of roll it back, and just, I used to say it's like using the Force, using the Jedi mind tricks to know when you have a strike, and it comes over time. That was my favorite trout of this year. That thing was just beautiful. Looked like it had been in the river a while, and I got lucky. And sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
You always need a little bit of luck in anything you do. You make your own luck, but at some point, there's just certain things that are out of your control, at least to some percentage, and you need a little bit of luck. But
Sure.
What I got from that story is you're a much better fly fisherman than Joe, and Joe uses a bobber to fly fish, and you don't because it's less cool.
Listen, I also have indicator tippet, which is colored. So like when I think the fish are scared of the indicator, I'll take it off and I'll put the tippet on. So it's like what he's doing, but mine's colored, so I see it move easier.
Yeah.
But I need something. He's just doing it with
What's
nothing.
the difference between an indicator and a bobber?
One's red and white and got a spring-loaded little.
Well, one of them I can tell you. One of them,
question. There's no difference.
One's 25 cents at Walmart, and the other one's $8.99 at Ramsey Outdoors.
That's right.
That's it. That's the difference.
Where are my lightning strikes?
Listen, an indicator's a much more precision-built instrument, dude. The airlocks, especially, they have to run inline. It's not like just a bobber.
Yeah,
bobber. But I did notice you were like real professional about not naming the bait shop. You can totally name the bait shop. It was Shannon's Fly Shop, right?
Yeah, Jim Holland and I were really good friends. In fact, when I was a youngster, Les Shannon would eat at Gronsky's Milk House in Highbridge. And he and Mr. Gronsky would talk about trout fishing, and I was like a fly on the wall. And then I would go into Shannon's, and Les would be smoking Marlboro Reds and drinking like Bushmills in his coffee. I mean, the place just reeked of cigarettes, and it still did until, the new owners, Abraham and Lindsay, really made it look nice, but it was quite the hovel for a long time.
It's a nice little fly shop for sure, and I don't I only dabble in fly fishing. I do it when other people are going, and I tag along and try to pick up things here and there. But I've stopped in there. It's a real nice shop. I had to pick up some hooks. But yeah, man, that was an awesome trout. I lost one that I don't know how big it was, but it was that same caliber of like an, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? The thing looked like a steelhead, and this is in New Jersey I'm talking about. And
Chris, you saw mine break off right in front of you.
Yeah, no, and I was in that same spot early, and the thing just took off like a rocket. Jumped like 3 times. On the third jump, it just snapped the line. I put too much pressure on it. I did not have enough experience fighting big fish on lighter leader fly tackle.
Yeah,
so it is what it is. But
a lot of people get into what I call no man's land, is that they don't keep the fly line under their pointer finger, right?
Yeah.
So they set the hook, and their 2 hands come apart like this, right? They got the fly line in one hand and the rod in the other, and now they're stuck.
Yeah.
Because in order to get to the reel, they have to throw slack. And you know how a trout is. If you throw them a little bit of slack, they're gone. So, but
I did the opposite mistake. I didn't give him enough of. I didn't have enough line off the reel already, and then when he went, I had nothing left, and I tried to like slow him down a little bit with my finger, and I ended up putting too much pressure and snapping the line.
Yeah, that's high modulus rods are tough too. I mean, these fancy Winstons and Scott Radians and everything, they'll throw a fly line a country mile, but they're so fast that there's not a lot of shock absorption there when you're fishing tight quarters and you got short lines.
Yeah. Well, how when you're fighting a fish on a spinning rod and it takes a run, you kind of bow into him and let the drag do the work. So I kind of instinctively did that, and then I'm like, oh crap, what am I doing? Snap, too late.
Yeah.
But
do you think that fish would mean as much to you if you would have caught it on spinning gear?
Nope, it was on a fly I tied.
All right, I like this guy.
Oh, he didn't say he tied the fly
look,
to.
Cool. I got all my look. Oh, hey, don't.
There's his bobbin.
I'm on here.
This isn't a fly fishing episode, though, Chris. And you
Chris, can you call me later? We'll talk off.
Call Joe and talk. Tell him a bedtime story about fly fishing before he takes.
You use a ceramic bobbin or?
No. Don't answer that.
No.
Listen, Chris, you sent me another awesome picture of a tuna. Tell that story real quick because I got to know what happened with this.
That was one of the coolest fall canyon trips of the year, and it started out. It was absolutely dismal. So we got to the Hudson Canyon, 100 miles out from Manasquan Inlet, and we're riding around looking for warm water, and we could find zero warm water. Like the warmest water we found was like 63.5 degrees. So we set up and we start chunking. Didn't get any bites. It got starting to get dark, and I had some friends in the bow that were there, and they both got hit. She lost hers, and he stayed tight to his. Well, he fought it for 3.5 hours, went around the boat, like under the anchor tree and around, and eventually lost it. An hour later, same thing. Another customer comes tight to the fish, 3+ hours on the rod, and we lose it. It happens again. And we're getting like multiple strikes at a time. So like 2-3 rods would go off. This time, 2.5, 3 hours into the fight, all of a sudden it comes to the top and we see it. And right behind it, it's a massive big eye tuna. And right behind it is a huge mako. The only reason we got that fish in is that a mako corn cobbed the tail right off of it, and we were able to get it in. God. So we were in the cold side of the Hudson where the big eyes like, and they always talk about wolf packs of big eyes, right? They hit in 2s and 3s on the troll, and same with on a chunk. And that was a really memorable fish. 3 of us lifted it through the tuna door and got it in. And you want to know a tragic part about it is the guy that initially hooked it didn't fight it for most of the time. We did. Our mate John, who's built like a brick outhouse,
he was just
handled the rod. Yeah, he just was too tired. After like 15 minutes, he's like, I can't do it. So
How big was the tuna? Did you guys get a weight on it?
No, but I'm saying, 250, 275, 300 maybe. It lost a lot of blood. But
and he was fighting it on what kind of gear?
Probably like 60-pound test. So like 30 wide or 50, 50 size reel with 60-pound test. And he didn't offer one piece of fish for the rest of the passengers or crew or anything. He took the whole thing home.
Wow, good for him.
Oh, all right. I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he just wasn't thinking about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice. Hey, everybody get a little chunk of tuna. It was a slow trip. I mean, we've had some great trips this year, but that one was the trip of the big eye tuna, and I had never seen a fish fight that stubbornly for that long, and eventually the fights just came down to the angler not gaining any line and the tuna not moving. Like, just that was it. Stalemate.
It sounds like it's safe to say if that mako didn't take that tuna's tail bite, you might not have been able. I mean, well, you guys probably landed the fish still, but I don't know.
Not on that tackle, Chris.
Nah.
I mean, we were. Right. It was like elephant hunting with a BB gun. We were pretty outgunned for those things. We're set up for 50, 60, 70-pound yellowfin, and maybe it was 275, maybe it was 3. I don't know. We didn't have a scale big enough.
Well, yeah. Awesome. I mean, that's a pretty cool story considering that the shark actually. I mean, a lot of times a much bigger shark come just take half the fish, ruin the whole catch. This shark seems to have just taken enough to let you guys get that fish in,
right?
But didn't ruin
crazy.
The majority of the fish. That's
didn't ruin the meat, and the teeth marks, like the bite radius was like perfect mako size, and the depth of the bite was like 4 inches deep. You could stick your hand. It was like obviously a really big shark.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That's an awesome story. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Chris, thank you so much for coming on again. Please call me soon about fly fishing when Chris isn't around.
Right. Sounds good, my friends. And thanks again. It was a great time seeing everybody. And keep up the good work with the podcast. It's awesome. You guys are really generating something really positive. So thank you.
Appreciate that. Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Take care. Bye. Now that tuna story is awesome. I mean, that's probably my favorite so far.
That is, if the shark wouldn't have bit the piece off, he probably wouldn't have landed it.
They were losing that battle. Like their gear could not land that fish. They couldn't handle that fish. And all this, like, talk about needing a little bit of luck and getting.
Yeah. Speaking of offshore fishing, our next guest here. Chris, you want to introduce something?
Did you forgot his name?
I know his fucking name.
Go ahead, introduce him then.
It's Luke. I don't know how to say it. La Pereira.
Yeah, right, last time. Yeah, you got it. You got it again.
Did he get it?
Good job, Joe. Yeah, you got it again.
Oh, I was just gonna call you Luke DePuke. No, we're not here to talk about offshore or saltwater fishing with you, Luke. Luke's on to share. You could share two if you want, but I know you're the one you're gonna share because I was there for it, and it was awesome. It wasn't New Jersey, but we decided early on in this podcast that we were gonna include all tri-state area, anywhere pretty much within driving distance, because we know real anglers don't mind driving 5-6 hours to go fishing for even a day. The old suicide trip. This wasn't a suicide trip. Me and Luke joined Nick.
You and Lick, dude. Please clip that timestamp.
I did combine Luke with Nick and call him Lick just there. Luke and I went up, visited Nick to ice fish in upstate New York. Luke, tell a story, bro.
All right. It was February. I remember it was like February this year. New Jersey ice was pretty shit this year, so we ended up in New York just to visit Nick.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
So we were in actually Lake Ontario itself, but obviously it doesn't freeze too well. But the the bays and the harbors do pretty well. So Nick, he fished it a bit. He gets some big crappies out of there, but he was targeting pike today, right? So he gets these big, not even big suckers, but he gets suckers maybe like this big. That's like 5 or 6 inches.
Were those not the ones that we like went into some
not the
alley Asian food store?
No, it was on a live sucker. We were using
What did
those
you just
too.
say?
Nick made me and Luke so me and Luke are driving up to upstate New York, and like
No,
obviously
never.
you know that the trip up
I
there's like nothing there, like you're just driving. But for
You
anyone
know,
that doesn't know,
some guy has eagle claw hooks in his backyard.
yeah, we've done like in a trailer in the driveway,
know
we've
the
done
whole
that
thing.
too. But this was like we had to pull off into this like town in the middle of nowhere, and we're following Nick's directions, and he's like, oh yeah, there's on the one corner in the alley, there's this door. You go in, there's an Asian food market. They'll have these what the hell did he call them?
I don't think I can say that on this podcast.
He doesn't want you to share the name of the bait. Didn't
No,
we
it's
have
a
a
frozen.
nickname?
We have a nickname. I think it's the actual name of it. That's not the nickname.
Oh, that's not. He didn't make that name up.
No, it's real.
Oh, this is the dumbest name in the world. Anyway, all right. So we went out of our way to do this, buy this like weird stuff in this sketchy shop. I guess we didn't even end up catching the fish on it. All right, go ahead.
Are you talking about the same stuff you use here in New Jersey for putt? No, okay.
No, they're big dead baits though. Essentially, they're just big dead baits. They're kind of like a mackerel. They're like small.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, Joe. It's a secret.
But yeah, we had those set up on tip ups, but also I was using some of Nick's like live suckers from the bait shop in town, about like 5 or 6 inches, right? So I just caught a pickerel on one. I think I was using a little shiner at first, but I took one of Nick's like big suckers, right? So if I goes off, I just caught a pickerel, to put it back, and then for like 2 minutes, I'm rigging up the flag again, the tip up, and I get the live sucker on it, and just put it down, a little tip up, and I'm about to walk away. Before I take like 5 steps away, I hear a boop behind me, and I look back, and the flag's up. So what happened?
You're thinking you just didn't put the trigger on.
Yeah, I must have set it up wrong because they're new tip ups, right? And I think that's the first time I was using them. So it was like, oh, that's weird. So I go over to the flag and spinning. It's like, okay, wait a second. The sucker wasn't this lively when I put it down. And I end up saying the hook with my hands, however you call that. And it's fighting pretty well. I thought it was a good pike, because I think Nick already caught like a decent pike out of here before. That's what we're expecting. We're expecting like a 40-inch pike.
That's kind of what we were fishing for.
Yeah. So moments later, I start fighting. It's like fighting really good. It's definitely not a pickerel. And then I see it. And I see the brown like body to it, and I just shout out loud, "Chris, what do you remember? Brown trout, bro!" I yelled like a dozen times.
I could not hear the words that he was saying. It just sounded like a 16-year-old girl got their favorite Barbie for their birthday, and they were just screaming like random stuff out loud.
That's probably how it sounded to it. But
that is what it sounded like.
You guys are probably across the ice like 100 feet, right? Maybe like 200 feet. And I'm just screaming, brown trout, brown trout. I just see it, and then I get to the hole, but it's not fully up yet. And then Nick, like, he's running over, and he helps me up, and he gets it up. And then I think you remember this part the best. Right when it hits the ice, and just on the ice, I start dancing.
This guy did a fucking jig on the ice. Like, literally started dancing, like, kicking his feet, like... Can you aim the camera back and just take a couple steps back and do the dance?
No, I'm not. I don't have enough room here.
I don't blame him.
All right, it was worth a try asking.
Next time you see me, I can do
it. Now I know when you started yell. So keep in mind, just so everyone can picture this, we got the tip up set up. We were fishing for bigger fish, but when I ice fish, I like to stay busy. We had a school panfish that was moving around, and we were kind of following them. So I'm sitting there jigging, crappie, perch. Like, they were okay. Some of them were small. Some of them were okay. They weren't like, it was nothing crazy. When I hear him screaming, I looked up and I'm like, what an idiot. And I just went back to like fishing. I thought he was just being stupid. But Nick went running over to help you. Thank God.
Yeah,
Because
Nick knows when I freak out, it's something like crazy.
Yeah, he knew you actually needed help. I was just like, I just looked up and I'm like, what an idiot, and I just went back to like catching 10-inch crappies. But like, did he end up grabbing that fish for you, help you land it, or
He did help me. I remember.
yeah, I mean, you tell me that would have been tough to land on your own. I'm sure.
I was too shocked. It was how big? I think it was like a 30-inch brown trout, but it was like tanky. I'll send you the pictures.
Oh yeah, I'm popping the picture up on here while you're talking about it. But did we measure it, or we didn't have a measuring tape? I don't remember.
I forget what it was measurement, but it was my PB, of course. I haven't. Yeah,
it was an awesome fish.
Yeah, it was a nice fish.
After I saw him start dancing, and Nick's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Oh shit, they're serious!" And I go running over. I'm like, "Holy shit!" I start taking his picture. And I'm like, we got some nice pictures real quick, and we were able to release that thing back. And oh my god, that was awesome. I'm glad I was there for that. That was awesome.
I was so glad both of you were there for that. That made my whole entire ice fishing season.
Something had to, because nothing that happened in. I think we didn't even ice fish in 2023. There was no ice fishing. We were able to get on the ice here in New Jersey between last Christmas and New Year's, and then that was it.
I remember last year was around Christmas time, and then we were all hopeful for ice fishing.
Nope, it all disappeared. It never came back. And now, because you just told an ice fishing story, you cursed this year's too. You're the second person to curse ice fishing season on this episode. So thank you for that. But Luke,
buy me in New York when they have ice.
What? What'd you say?
For me?
Yeah, what'd you say?
I said, catch me in New York when they always have ice.
Yeah, well, they barely had ice last year. I mean,
they barely did, but we still got.
We didn't get to fish wherever we wanted. We could only do certain spots. Yeah. But no, Luke, it was an awesome catch. I'm glad you came on to share it with everyone else listening, and thanks for coming on. And we'll fish soon. We'll talk to you soon.
See you.
See you, Luke.
Joe.
Yeah, yeah, Joe. I don't that brown trout was awesome. There's no other way to describe it. But
I can't even imagine. I mean, I've caught them on I've caught those big giant trout up on like that one private lake where Scott lives, but
yeah,
that's not the same as a wild one. Like not a wild one, but one out on a public lake.
It's been going through the process. Well, it's not a stocked fish anymore at that point, in my eyes.
That would be so really sick. Especially imagine if it was on the jigging rod instead of the tip up.
Oh god, that would have been awesome. But all right, we're gonna circle around back to saltwater now. We got Gerry's brother Joe Zagorski on here now with us. What's up, Joe?
What's happening?
Hello, Joe. Nice to have you.
Thanks. Glad
you recovered from the Christmas party?
Oh, I know. I'm a reformed, so 32 years dry for me.
Oh, all right. Hey, good. I mean, I didn't do much either. I didn't have time, but the sodas or whatever you wanted to drink elsewise was included too, right? I mean,
you bet.
And you look like you had a good time anyway. That's all that matters. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody had a good time. It was a good party, no doubt.
Yeah. So, Gerry was telling me you had this crazy tog story from the Osprey, and I have to hear it. And I don't know what the story is. He did not tell me. Joe has no idea. So this is the first time we're hearing it. But
interesting. So anyway, myself, my brother, Artie, and Tim go out on the Osprey. Guess it was somewhere around January, and we're fishing, and the bite's a little slow. And I decided to go from a rig to a jig, and casted, just said one of the Hail Mary ones because the bite was bad. So I threw it probably 200 feet from the boat. Let it hit the bottom. As soon as it hit the bottom, I just watched the line just started walking. Set the hook, fought it for quite a bit of time. Hard time getting it off the bottom, get it to the boat, and it's a beautiful, like 13, 14-pound fish.
How nerve-wracking was hooking what you know is probably that big of a tog on the jigging setup versus, obviously, if you want the upper hand on the fish, you want to be using a bait setup, right? I
Oh,
mean,
definitely conventional if you want a heads up on a fish. I mean, my traditional conventional rod is 55-pound braid, 60-pound top shot. So I'm pretty confident that, I can muscle most fish. If you swing right, swing hard, keep them up and let him try to swim his way back down, but keep pressure on him, you're good. But when you're fishing a light spinning rod, 20-pound test, 30-pound leader,
and you just sent it out into no man's land. You don't know
exactly.
what kind of structure's out there.
That's exactly
Wait, yeah.
it.
Do you ever cast your jig? Is that a normal thing you do or no?
Usually a little bit here and there, depending on the current and things like that. You want to, test. It's like traditional rig fishing where you're looking for a piece of structure. So you're searching with the jig, and it's not like you're bouncing it up and down. You're trying to get it on the bottom and then just kind of skid it along until you find a piece of structure and it stops or it gets stuck where there's some friction. So you're just looking for a differentiation in the bottom. But generally, I'm only casting it maybe 20 feet, 30 feet tops from the boat, but there weren't any bites near the boat. And I was getting a little frustrated. And I'm saying, okay, I'll kiss this jig goodbye. Gave it a little, put a nice crab on it, gave it a little kiss, say, I'll probably never see you again, and and sent it for a shot. And when that fish picked it up, and I saw the line running, and I set the hook, I'm like, okay, I'm not even straight up and down on the fish, And so it's like your butthole gets about that big, and you're just trying to keep some friction on the fish. It's peel and drag. You can't stop it from going down with the tackle.
No, you just
if you lock up your drag, you're gonna bust your line.
Yeah,
because you're fishing light. So I finally got it up, 5-6 cranks, made a couple runs, get it to the boat. It's an absolutely beautiful fish, and it's in good condition because we weren't fishing too deep. So, everybody's admiring the fish. We get a couple photos of the fish. I make sure that we get it back in the water as soon as possible to revive it, make sure it's good. Got it in a net, put it back in the boat. That fish went immediately right back to the bottom, nice and healthy.
How did you get a weight on or a measurement, or you just estimated?
13 and a half.
13 and a half pounds? Monster.
Yep.
Yeah, monster tog.
Yeah, nice tog.
Do you dip the weights in the red paint too?
Say that again?
You dip your weights in the red paint too?
I spray paint I spray paint by sinkers. Yeah, red.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
You still haven't done that, Joe?
I'm trying to buy the right stuff.
It's not the right stuff. I use Krylon. Get it at the hardware store.
I just try to rough mine up so they don't shine anymore. I mean,
they just say, I don't know what. I mean, my 21.5-pound tog, which is hanging on the wall behind me over here, that was caught on a red sinker, and I've been fishing red sinkers ever since. It's like.
Did you say a 21.5 pound?
21.5.
Is your camera like movable? Can you point? Can we see that fish?
Is there a picture? Can we get a picture of it up on the screen?
Oh yeah. If I could throw up a picture.
Everyone watching the podcast getting motion sickness.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can't get a very good shot of it.
It's blurry because of the background, but you could tell how big it is. I mean,
yeah, it was an absolute beast of a fish.
Man,
wow,
that is awesome.
What year was that?
That one was 2016, I believe.
Oh my God!
On the fishmonger with Captain Gerry. First time.
Oh, don't get Joe started on the fishmonger.
I've never heard of him.
Yep, that was the first 20 pounder over Todd caught on his boat.
Wow.
Really? And wait, he's caught bigger since or no?
One gentleman named Bob, and it was, I think the following year was our New Year's Eve trip. It's like this gentleman Bob pays for the entire boat, and Gerry takes whoever Gerry and Bob want to take. And it's usually only 6 or 7 of us, and we fish a half a day. And I was fishing right next to Bob. And Bob's an elderly gentleman, wasn't in very good physical condition. And we're both fishing the same spot. And all of a sudden I look over and Bob's locked up on a giant. And I'm biting my lip because I don't want to say anything because he's doing all these things wrong. And his reel is twisting to the right, and he's trying to reel, and his hand, because he doesn't have much strength in his hand, keeps sliding off the crank of the reel.
Oh man.
Just keeps sliding off. And finally we get it to the boat. 2 of us each grabbed the net. We got it from each side and boarded the boat. And that was a 22.5-pound fish.
They had to net it with 2 nets.
Well, we just wanted to make sure we got the fish. So
Oh,
on one side, I think I'm not sure it was Sean or Roger on the other side, where we just made sure that whichever way the fish was facing when it got to the top, that one of us had a net on it.
man, that's talk about being ready for anything. That I do know what it's like to fish next to someone that's doing a lot of weird wrong stuff, and it's pretty it's pretty cringy, but
well, you got to you know the same thing I know about fishing, and that is, in my opinion, 50% of fishing is luck. You have to be lucky. You have to be lucky enough to get the bite. You have to be lucky enough that your line's not frayed, and you've got to be lucky enough that the fish swims the right way, that you're able to get it to where you want it to get it and get it in the net. So there's so many things, so many lucky things that you have to have going in your favor to land a fish of a lifetime, regardless of species. It's one of those things where, right day, right bait, right place, fish are hungry, everything goes your way. You can only do so much as an angler.
right. And I know you didn't hear our previous guests, but this is not the first time that attributing a awesome catch to some luck. It's been mentioned already, I think 2 other times already. I mean, and you're absolutely right. There's nothing in fishing that's ever going to not involve some aspect of luck. Whatever percentage you want to tag onto it is always going to be some.
Yes, no doubt.
But Joe, there's some other part of that story that I cut you off with that big fish.
Yes.
So go ahead and continue because Gerry mentioned something.
So about 10, 15 minutes go by, and I'm fishing, again, next to Tim, like I always do. Tim and I are like bookends. We fish together all the time. And Tim throws down a jig, right crab, everything, right where we had been fishing, nowhere near where I had casted. And all of a sudden I see his rod double over. And I'm saying to myself, boy, I hope he gets it off the bottom. I hope he gets it off the bottom. I hope he gets it off the bottom. And he fought the fish for a good amount of time and finally got it up, a few cranks, and finally got it to the top. Another beautiful fish, weighed somewhere in 12, almost 13 pounds. And getting pictures of it, Tim drops the freaking fish on his head and kills the fish instead of releasing it. So we can't release the fish because now he's mortally wounded, the poor thing. And because the rule on the boat is possession, Tim gets all the money from the pool and he wins the entire season prize for the boat, for the biggest fish on the boat, because it actually was possessed. So
hold on.
Beautiful custom rod, and that's how it went down.
So you caught this big 13, I forget the ounces, but over 13-pound fish.
Yeah.
Did you know at that time that would have been the current leader?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I mean that's pretty respectable. You still wanted to release this fish because it was big, and you want to help the population. That's respectable, right? Release the fish.
For me, it's not the kill, it's the thrill of the chase. For me, I've caught enough tog in my lifetime, and I want somebody else to be able to enjoy a fight of a fish.
I mean, that's admirable. I gotta say that's pretty cool.
And it cost me a lot of money.
So that then your buddy, he wanted to release his big fish too. He's an experienced hog angler, it sounds like.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
it slipped out of his hands and died and ended up
getting him the money and a brand new custom rod.
Oh man. If I was him, so like if that was me and Joe Santiago and this happened to us and I was the guy who accidentally dropped the fish, like a year later, I would have lied and admitted to Joe that I dropped the fish on purpose just so I could just to mess with him.
We do joke about that constantly. I always tell him, but and he's like, I really didn't. I know you didn't. Well, again, we've caught a lot of big fish together, and our thing has always been, 9 pounds or over for all the big fish, even if it's not a double digit. If it's 9 pounds or so, we're generally letting the fish go. And I don't eat fish anyway, so it's like for me.
Oh, really?
Like there's no reason for me to take any fish.
Oh,
if there's other people on the boat that want fish and I'm catching fish, generally I'm giving it away.
You don't eat fish at all, huh?
No.
Never liked it, or?
No, it's not filling for me. It's like, there's just not enough. I'm a meat and potatoes guy.
I hear you.
But my neighbors love me. All my neighbors get
fish.
If
they like fish, I'm sure. You could always, I'm sure you could trade it for,
Yeah, for nice dinners here and there, but
I mean, if I don't like to freeze fish, so if I have extra fish, I try to trade it. If I'm not going to eat it fresh, I'd rather someone else eat it fresh than me freeze it for myself.
Me too.
So I give away a lot of fish too. Trade it, kind of trade it for you got fresh eggs. You want to make me a homemade Italian pizza, whatever, whatever.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Joe, that's an awesome story. Thank you for coming on and sharing it. I haven't caught my double-digit tog yet. I had 3 trips canceled this year, which just killing me. I had one down in Cape May with Frank, another one down in Cape May. All got canceled, but
yeah, that's unfortunately, once you get into through November and you start getting into December, it's like 50% of my trips get blown out. At least 50. Sometimes it's worse. And I pray most of the time that at least 50 get canceled because I'm booking 2 days in a row. And I can't fish 2 days in a row anymore at my age. So it's like I'm rolling the dice.
That's how you have to do it, though. And I mean, let me throw this out there right now. If you ever book 2 in a row and you're too tired for the second day and they're both going, now you have my number. So you give me a call. That's what you gotta do, though. I don't get in on enough trips and then I roll the dice. Because I'm thinking if I do all these trips and they all go, I'm gonna freaking have to sell my truck and go bankrupt.
Yeah, exactly. The other safe bet normally, which I use a lot in January and February. Unfortunately, I can't use January this year with the Osprey, but I can use the Starlight Fleet that's out of Wildwood, and they're good. They're both good fishermen, and it's a bigger boat, so there's a less chance of getting blown out. And I always have bait laying somewhere, so it's I'll book big boat trips. I'll book kite boat trips. I'm not, it's not all charters for me. I do enjoy fishing with a lesser amount of people, but I have a lesser chance of going too. And the thing that does stink about charters is when you're chartering a boat and that forecast is questionable and that captain doesn't call it off until 6 or 7 o'clock the day before. Generally, you're not going to get on another popular boat.
Yeah.
That you want to get on at that short a notice. They're usually booked.
No, yeah, exactly.
So,
well, no, if you ever have an open spot, or I'm always looking to try to get in on some of these trips and get my double digit one. My biggest one's about 8 pounds. Trying to get that double digit. So, but I love it. Tog fishing is it's awesome to me.
Yeah, there might be a couple openings. I might have an opening on the 9th, though. It's the 9th of January in Cape May with Fish and Fever. Friend of mine's got a trip. He might have a spot if you're interested. Just shoot me a text later on tomorrow or whatever. Look at your
Oh
calendar.
yeah, yeah.
It's a
Oh
weekday.
no, I'll text. I was going on that boat. That's one of the trips that got canceled recently.
Yeah. Tom's a
No,
Well,
great
thank you
captain.
so much for coming on, and
Pleasure.
thank you for the Christmas party, for coming, and that was awesome.
Yeah, I was happy to come support everybody there and support the cause, which is an important one. I'm a veteran, not one that served in any wars, but I did my 4.5 years in the Air Force, and it's near and dear to me.
You know what? I did not know that, and thank you for your service. And
Yeah, thank you for your service.
Yeah, pleasure.
Thank you for coming on.
Best thing that ever happened to me.
Hopefully, you could hook us up with some tog spots. Unless it's Pastorino, we don't want to fish with him. Anyone but
I do.
No, not me. Thank you, Joe.
My pleasure.
Take care, bud.
All right, so our next and final guest, Chris, when we started the podcast, we made the Skillful Angler a pretty big part of it. A lot of people didn't participate in it that this year, I think, did. I'm not muted.
He's not talking to you, Joe.
Screw you, dude. So we got a lot of people participated in the Skillful Angler. We have Katie Lynne, who is here, who I believe participated for her first year and broke multiple slams and masters.
Not slams. I honestly didn't know about the Skillful Angler program until June, because that's when I caught my walleye, and that's when Max kind of brought up that there was a program. So that's when I looked into it, and then I also didn't know that there was a minimum
Who is
requirement.
Max?
Huh?
Max? Who is Max?
Max Mustache Wilson.
No, don't know.
Yeah, and he's just some kid. So he told me about it, and so it was June. It was like the beginning of June, and then I didn't realize there was a minimum for the fish. I thought you just had to beat the highest person. So for the longest time, I never even measured my fish or weighed my fish. So from June until November is when I got my masters for all of them. I had a bullhead, pickerel, sunfish, walleye, and perch.
Did you just read that off of a paper?
Yeah, I have it in front of me.
She came prepared, obviously.
I
She's
did.
wearing
and
her
I'm
Christmas
wearing my
Ken
obviously
Beam hat.
I'm because of Ken Beam, really. The whole reason I became a part of this Facebook page was because of Ken Beam.
Now, what is your
what did he
beef
do?
with Ken Beam? What is Ken Beam done to
I
you?
won the contest. Max said, "Hey, you got to put this you got to post a picture on this Facebook page wearing this hat. And you could win a charter trip." And I was like, "I'm never going to win this trip, but sure, I'll do it." And somehow I won this salmon trip from Scott Tarnowski through you guys, and I was able to fish for salmon for the first time in my life. It was the only fish I ever caught off a boat, really. My master's was all shore fishing, because shore fishing is the way to go. That's how you figure out if you're a real fisher person.
Oh,
That's
my God.
inaccurate.
There's no fisher person is not an existing word. It's angler.
Angler.
First of all, how did your second boat trip ever go?
I got sick.
We have video. Chris, can you put a picture up?
So I'll definitely put a picture up of her.
I do want to try again, though. I do.
Oh.
I am gonna try again.
Oh, okay. You want to come with me and Max tog fishing?
I feel like it would be better to try summer or spring. Isn't it more calm then?
Nah, she's scared. And so it's another person who claims that land-based fishing is better, and guess what? They get seasick.
Another seasick person that doesn't own a boat that's telling me shore is cooler.
I do own a boat. Well, my dad owns a boat.
It's like there's a whole
license, and I live on a lake, and I still for fishing.
No, you're scared. You're scared to drive the boat.
You're an anomaly.
She's laughing because it's true.
It may be a little true, but
Well, out of all those nice
No, I did have to
anglers-
say on a serious note, with the seasickness thing, you get a lot worse seasick the hotter out it is than when you're freezing cold. You don't get as seasick.
I did think that helped me a lot. I mean, I was sweating my ass off in like 30-degree weather. So
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's when it was 30 degrees.
it
and
was
you were
really,
sick?
it was freaking freezing that day. And I was,
Oh,
very
okay. So
seasick.
you're just a land dweller.
yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, back to the fish. Out of those nice, skillful angler fish that you caught to complete and for anyone listening that doesn't know, you caught 5 different species of fish over a certain size, each one depending on the species, what's considered a big fish of that species. You caught 5 different species. Which one was your favorite? Like, which one has the coolest story attached to it?
I'd say the walleye, because I spent hours that night fishing off my dock with this lure, just casting it and casting it. And
You're
it was
telling me, sorry, you were standing in one spot, casting over and over again into the same 5 spots in front of you
for
for
hours.
hours?
For hours.
Yeah, but she lives in a fairly good. I'm not going to burn it, but she lives in a spot that we would fish with our boats from.
Would you anchor your boat and cast at the same 180
No.
degrees for hours?
No, that's what these land dwellers do. I don't
We
do
had
that.
live stuff going too. I had hot dogs out, but to kill the time
That's why-
while I'm waiting for those hot dogs to get hit, I'm casting. And for hours, I was just about to pack up. It's 1:45 in the morning. And it just slammed it. And I mean, I didn't expect it to be as big as it was, honestly. I reeled it in. Max was like, no way, this has to be a record. And I was like, it's big. It was huge.
Wait. Max said it was a record?
Yeah, he did. For that's when you said the skill for this at the time for the skillful angler, it was the record for the skillful angler. But it was easy.
Oh,
It's now beaten by the Greenwood Lake dwellers easily.
Gotcha.
But at the time, it
it's
was the record.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
Hey, I mean,
The
that's
leader.
pretty cool. Yeah, you held the spot for the biggest walleye for a couple of months, couple of weeks.
It was 6
whatever it was.
pounds and 11 ounces, and then it was I didn't have it was off a
We don't care what it weighed.
it wasn't a
long
bump
was it?
board though. It was
No one cares.
it was 26 inches.
That's
Now,
a nice,
are you-
respectable New Jersey walleye.
Are you already setting goals for next year of things that you have to beat?
I definitely want to get a skillful angler carp because I had one in the beginning of the season for sure, but I didn't know about it. So I didn't sit it or anything. I want to take my dad out and catch a shark because I went out with Louie and our friend Christian and I got my first shark this year. And my dad, I think, would really like catching a shark. He's a big fisherman. He taught me everything I knew, him and my grandpa.
What
so
kind of
I
shark
taking
did you
him out.
catch?
Huh?
What kind of shark did you catch?
I think it was a brown shark.
Oh, with Louis Ramirez from Wetside?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought when you said you went out for... See, when you say I went out for a shark, that to me, that means you went out on a boat.
No.
I'm just... Okay. So,
No.
We went over this already, Joe. She can't go on boats. She's a puking machine.
So
I will
you
try
want
it
to bring...
again. I
You
will
want to
try
bring
again.
your father down to fish with Louis.
I do want to take him. I think he'd like that a lot. And
Cool.
he's also never gotten a muskie, so when we went out with Kevin Cool, we tried that for a bit. So we
You-
also
you
want to try
won.
targeted them.
And you won a box of muskie lures from Muskie Inc. at the Christmas party. So what a coincidence.
Yeah, we were talking about trying to target them more this year, me and him. So it was perfect.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Well, Joe, if she has the patience to stand in one spot for 5 hours throwing,
Oh, that's
5
true. She
casts
might like
at
it.
180 degrees, then I think she can handle muskie fishing.
I hope she's not musky fishing from shore. That would just
I mean,
be like...
what do you think I do when I carp fish? I sit there for 12 hours in the same spot.
I mean, even that though is different. Like that I can handle because you throw it all out there and then you like go do something. Like you don't have to pay attention until something happens. Casting a lure from shore, especially on a like where you're stuck in one spot, that sounds like I'm gonna wake up tonight in the middle of the night sweating, like having a nightmare about this.
It's relaxing. You just kind of like zone out.
Not.
All right, I'm not doing this again. Katie, thank you so much for coming on. Congratulations on all your skillful angler achievements. I hope you break more next year.
That
Chris,
is my plan.
tell her Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Well, by the time we put this episode out, you will have hopefully already had a Merry Christmas. And
Is it? Why? When's this episode come out?
after Christmas?
Oh, really?
I think so. I hope so because I just said it. But no, happy
Merry New Year.
And
Bye.
keep going for it.
Merry Christmas.
Keep on sending the send.
That's trademarked. You're gonna have to pay money for that.
And then, well, whatever. Trespassing. I'm trespassing on his words.
Can I log off now?
Just hit the red hang up button so we could go to bed here. All right, this episode's been extremely too long for Andrew still. I guess this is the New Year's special, so everyone has something to do while they
Well,
wait.
it was the 2023 recap. I mean, we had a
I
couple.
can't believe it's episode 38 plus the Andy still, so 39 episodes. The Deuce thing still gets me every time. He talks and I answer him. I just can't not do it. I forget. I can't believe no one else hears him either. Only I can hear him. I still just doesn't register with me.
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything else to say. I hope everyone had an awesome and wonderful Christmas because it's already passed. And now New Year's is coming. I went blackfishing on Saturday. Hopefully that was great. And I caught like a 9-pound fish at least, I hope.
Don't start talking about stuff that hasn't happened yet.
Well, it did happen because this episode's in the future.
It might have happened, but now you just cursed it. But I guess we'll find out.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys, and we will see you in 2024.